Chapter 85, The Guests. After traveling in secret, after running in fear, our friends were safe at last. But their problems weren't over yet. Although Roz had a brand new body, she had the same old mind, and most humans simply weren't ready for an emotional, curious, wild robot. There was only one place where she could be her true self, and it was still far, far away. Dr. Malovo, you have already been so kind to me and my son, said the robot, but I must ask you for one last favor. Hey, go to Mittens for a minute. This is how we self-quarantine. Right. The woman sat back in her chair. Could you take us home in your airship? The woman laughed. Well, of course I will. How else would you get to an island in the middle of the ocean? Time and again, Roz had dreamed of flying back to her island in an airship, but she had never thought it would actually happen. Until now. It's no trouble, the woman went on. We can have you home in a few hours. But I insist that you and Bright Bill stay a while here in my apartment. You both deserve some peace and comfort, and I would love the company. There was no arguing with Dr. Malovo, and our friends agreed to stay a while. The robot butler took care of everything and everyone in the apartment, and that included guests. Roz felt funny accepting help from a robot, but Bright Bill happily soaked in all the attention. The butler fed him fantastic salads made from exotic leafy plants. The butler placed a little pool in the living room so he could swim whenever he liked. Look at Bright Bill, chilling in a little pool inside. The butler built a cozy bed that was just the right size and shape for a young goose. Bright Bill had never been so comfortable. Dr. Malovo divided her time between her guests and her work. Well, hello, Mr. Socks. Do you see Socks? She would sit around chatting with Roz and Bright Bill, and then it's River. River, come here. Hi. Say hi. You just want to be part of the social distancing? Oh, you're going to make them mad. Don't do it. Don't do it. Dr. Malovo divided her time between her guests and her work. She would sit around chatting with Roz and Bright Bill, and then suddenly head down to the factory with some urgent task. She had to design new robots. She had to supervise the makers and the Ricos. She had to manage all of Tech Lab Industries. Even at her old age, Dr. Malovo was still consumed by a passion for robots. If you love your job, it never feels like work. That's Mrs. Karagosian. I say that all the time. I love my job so much, and I miss you all so much. When the host was working, the guests had the apartment to themselves. Roz spent hours browsing the bookshelves. She read about art and science and the history of robotics. Bright Bill waddled from room to room and explored every corner of the sprawling apartment. But their factory activity was to stand by the windows, gaze across the city, and survey the incredible sights. Hey, cool it. I can see the bridge where Strutter tracked me down, said Bright Bill, and that's the building where I first met Graybeak. And there's the roof where you fell. Look far in the distance. Another spaceship is taking off, said Roz. It could be flying to the space station or the moon or beyond. I think that skyscraper is actually a greenhouse, said Bright Bill. I flew past it and saw nothing but plants inside. Roz and Bright Bill enjoyed their time in Dr. Malovo's apartment, but they missed their friends in the wilderness and the island. After a few days, the guests were growing restless. They were ready to go home. Tomorrow, or actually later today, Chapter 86, The Flight. And Mrs. Karagosian is going to talk Luke into reading this chapter for us.